Hi, everybody. It's Sunday, January 8th. What we got is Bank of America up here. We're just showing you the earnings reports are starting to kick off here. Um, that is on the 13th. So what's that? The 8th is the 15th. So it's going to be Friday. Yeah, the Friday, the 13th, which for me is a lucky day. That's the day I was born on, Friday the 13th. So just to let you know that we got to throw that into the mix now with earnings coming up. But everything's looking good on the SPY chart at least. We've talked about this little bit of a range that we're in here since the middle of December. We peaked our head over it, so we got to see if it keeps going, and we basically got to get up into this area up in here, 367, and even where the body of that candle was at what's that, 389. Sorry, 387, 389. Um, that's what they're looking for there. And again, a good move. A little bit of a gap up followed by some buying on Friday. We definitely need to see follow through. Now it is only about 5 o'clock Eastern. So futures aren't opening for a half an hour. And sometimes I just don't wait for them because anything's going to happen from when they open to when they get ready to start trading tomorrow. So that looks good on the SPY. The other chart we were looking at on the SPY is our scalper trend, which is that white arrow I had down here. Now see, we also had one here on the 22nd of December. So that didn't get a down arrow, so that's some good action. Remember, these red candles doesn't mean it was a red day. We're going to see another green candle and get this off to the races. Now, I always say with this, go with the trend. If you look at obviously if you look at the last couple of months, several months, we got an uptrend, a little pullback, so we can see if we can get that moving. Obviously, we know 2022 is not real good. 2023, we're not sure yet because we haven't really gone anywhere. You pull this chart up in the Qs. We still got that arrow, but looking at a good day on Monday or on Friday, but didn't get out of its little range. That range I'm only talking about has been in since the 22nd. The 16th is way up here where the SPY was. And the IWM small caps, a nice move. I like to see all three markets going in sync. That means the buyers coming in across the board. So long story short of these indexes, we liked what we saw on Friday. Just got to keep it going. There's no squeezes or anything on the SPY. I looked at that, nothing going on like that there. We'll get to the list on the left. I got a small list on the phone. So Apple, Apple had an update, but we didn't really take out the recent sellers. Remember the range on the SPY and the Qs? We didn't even get above that candle from the January 3rd. So yeah, there was some strength that went with the market. That's a good thing, but we didn't really get out of the woods if we're trying to clear some levels. Remember, these charts that I'm covering here are basically for short-term trades. We're looking for ideas for a short-term trade, a week or two, maybe a few days. The stock has to be ready to move or be trending in a certain direction for you, because if you do some directional options with that, it's just going to burn theta. Even if you don't do directional options, it's just going to stand there if you're looking for a quick move. And then Amazon, we know, is looking pretty poor. Doesn't really get out of its range, but again, flowing with the market, so that's a good thing. And Tesla, again, beat up pretty bad. I know, kind of went with the markets, gapped down at a green candle. But remember, we still could see, again, on the weekly, as I said, we're extended away from the 80 EMA. If it breaks that 160, 1.8, we could still see 63 on Tesla. And that the high after the last split is up there at 418. Shorts are pretty happy about what's going on here. And then we're going to look at Google, Alphabet, holding off at that support level that I had just recent action. If it holds that, we could get a run back up to that 103, 104 level. And with the earnings reports about ready to come out, a lot of people will sit on their hands unless they see a really good trade. I did see a few good charts. I think I got 5 here. I'll show you why I didn't put some of the other ones that moved on Friday. So MNST, that's a really good chart over the past 9 months. Little dip here after an earnings report, but recovered pretty well. One of the better charts for 2022. on one of the better traded. I don't. If you don't, you guys know I don't go for the obscure stocks. I want something with volume, something that people are going to trade. And so Monster's one of them. Above 104.49, you get 109.62. We look at the squeeze chart. It's in a squeeze. So it's a perfect way to get long here. If you're going to get long before the breakout, go with a 70 delta. Give it some time. Let it go. Last time it had a squeeze, it broke out pretty good, but that was on a report. If I see the weekly, let's see when the report's coming out. Our report's not coming until January 23rd. So it's not right around the corner, but it's not that far out either. So what's that move? That could be a good one. And looking at the scalper trend chart on that one, we actually got a down arrow recently. So it can be a little confusing, but you don't follow down arrows in that because you're going against the uptrend. And then what was I have them typed in on my phone. Visa, one of the better ones. If you look at the weekly chart, you'll see what I'm trying to do here. That 217, 218 has been a pretty good resistance level. If it get above there, we could run to 225 and maybe 235, 236. I'm looking at the 225 area up in here. That report's coming on the 26th. And then Caterpillar, want to look at that. This on a weekly chart as well. So this big run here from May 20 all the way to May 21. Now it's been consolidating. Now broke over that 3-year high over 247, 46.69 brings in 286. Again, any of these breakouts you're going to play, especially on a weekly chart, get something in the money and give it a lot of times. 30, 60 days, maybe 45, that's 60. I wouldn't even give it. I wouldn't give it less than 45 days, especially on a weekly chart. And then we go off to Netflix. Just keep an eye on that one, but that earnings report is in 2 weeks now. Remember on Netflix, that gap, that's a gap there at 329. Then you could look up to a run up to almost $400 on that one if it goes. And there'll be a lot of shorts involved in that one covering. Let's go to a year daily. Because anybody that got in there was pretty happy. Maybe they got out of the position. Again, shorts get out here when they, or sorry, anybody that got stuck in the position here is sold. So get some more short covering and some buyers coming in if that makes a move there. And we're looking at GIS, General Mills. Again, make another good chart for 22. That's 9 months of 22 right there. Over 88 brings in 91. Now this is not, is a squeeze that fired short after the last earnings report. So without any momentum of this really move, any idea, reason for this to move higher, maybe just play the breakout if you want to do it before the breakout, get in the money and give it some time. Now you're looking at like, well, why wouldn't I put First Solar on the chart? Because that's the big mover from Friday. Could that keep going? Yeah, it absolutely could. It could very easily run up to 173. The first going to have some little resistance here at what's that, 162. So that's the first way to look at. That's something to do. I just have never had any luck with the First Solar chart. It's always been on my list, always been a mover, but it's one of those ones I've never trusted. I don't mean that in a negative way, just one of those things. You have all of those charts that you just don't trust. Costco's a good move, but there's so much overhead resistance in there. Square, yeah, it could move, but that's just been hovering around the lows for so long. FCX is a horrible chart. MGM maybe not too bad. Could run up to that 38, 39 area. Basically, I went through every chart on my list here tonight before I did the video. So I got the ones that look best to me. If you guys have any questions or like another chart and you wonder why I didn't maybe like that one, just let me know.